Can anyone tell me what is mean by recursive algorithm? We are discussing on mathematical analysis on recursive algorithm. Can anyone able to tell me what is mean by recursive algorithm? What is recursive algorithm, pa? We studied in C programming, no? Recursive algorithm. What is recursive algorithm? Anyone?
Sir, which repeats again and again.
Repeat. Please tell
Uh,
it louder.
Sir, which repeats again and again within its loop.
Again and again. Okay. We are just putting the we are writing a function inside the function. We are calling the same function. Okay.
Directly or
For
indirectly,
yeah,
the
we are
function
just
type itself.
making factorial of numbers with use of recursive algorithm. Tower of Hanoi we are making with use of recursive algorithm. Okay, what and all the things we going to do repeatedly, for that recursive algorithm is a best solution. Okay, for that reason we are moving for recursive algorithm. I hope all you are able to see the slides. No, are you able to see the slides, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, is it visible? Okay, now let's move for the understanding of analysis of the recursive algorithm. So what is the first thing we have to understand? The parameters what we have to give for the inputs for the recursive algorithm. When we are moving for factorials of number, the n value you have to give us input. For example, I want to find factorial for 5. So what the input I have to give? 5 I have to give the input. So for 5 it will identify the factorial. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 it will do. So the final answer I will get as output. For that reason, we have to decide the input size properly. Then next to that, the basic operation. Every algorithm we are dealing with the basic operation. I am repeatedly telling, if you are doing addition of two numbers, C is equal to A plus B is the basic operation. When we are dealing with some other program, when you are doing division of two numbers, C is equal to A divided by B. What is the basic formula we have to apply for solving the given problem? That is to be basic operation. So that is the second point we have to do while taking care of a algorithm. Third thing what we have to think, the number of times the basic operation will be executed. When you are going for factorial of a number, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, so the multiplication operation we are doing repeatedly. So how much time you are doing the multiplication operation, that will decide the execution time of an algorithm. So here, if I am giving 5 factorial, my execution will be 5 times, because 5 into 2 into 3 into 2, 3 into 2 into 1. So it will execute for 5 times. Think of, if I am giving 1,000 factorial or 100 factorial, the execution time will be exceeds. So according to that, we are deciding whether it will be come under best case or worst case, average case things. So all this best case efficiency, worst case efficiency, and average case efficiency will be decided separately, investigated separately by applying the formulas. So we are solving some algorithms in our understanding part. In the next slides, I will show you. We are dealing with Tower of Hanoi problem. I will show you in the animated way how the Tower of Hanoi will work. The say for the same, I will show you the formulas also. Okay, so here we will just discuss on the mathematical way in understanding. Next to this, we are applying the recurrence relation for this particular problem. So which is the appropriate recurrence relation we have to apply for the given problem, and we have to try to identify the solution for the given problem. So number of times the basic operation is executed is very important. In the initial condition, how much time we have to execute the basic operation, that will be calculated. According to that, our time complexity will be taken. If your inputs is very large, mean by 1000 or 2000, I am finding the factorial value. The space complexity also increases because your input increases, your space complexity also increases. Solving the recurrence, whatever the order of growth of the solution also increases. What is mean by order of growth? If you are calculating for 5 factorial, as I told, the order of growth will be 5. If you are calculating for 1000 factorial, the order of growth will be 1000. So the solution will be increased according to the given input. So that in this recursive algorithm, we have to check the input size, and the basic operation has to be identified properly, and how much time we are executing the basic operation, that has to be taken care. With use of that, we are identifying the worst case, average case, and best case. And further, the recurrence relation, what we are doing, that is very important. According to the recurrence relation, we have to apply the proper recurrence relation for the given problem, and we have to taken care of the number of times the basic operation executes at the initial condition, and order of growth of the given solution has to be taken care. According to the recurrence, the order of growth of the given solution will be increases. So this is the basic part we have to understand. Next to that, we are going for the algorithm that depends on the factorial of given numbers. The example one deals with factorial of given numbers. So all you told about how the factorial works, I gave the example. Actually 5 factorial I gave example. For that we are writing algorithm here. What is the algorithm? Compute the factorial function f of n is equal to n factorial. So n factorial is the formula for the arbitrary non-negative integers n. So for identifying the factorial, we should not give a negative number. We have to give a positive number for identifying the factorial. So the formula can be written as n factorial is represented in the form of 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into until n minus 1 into n. So n minus 1 into n we have to give. For example, I want to find 5 factorial. So 5 minus 1 into 5. So 5 minus 1 is what? 5 minus 1 factorial. 5 minus 1 factorial mean by what? It will come actually 4 factorial into 5. So until 4 it will do the factorial, and then it will multiply with 5. So what is 4 factorial? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that multiplication will be taken care. That will be multiplied with the last value, that is 5. So you will get the final answer. Every time the n value should be greater than equal to 1. So every time whatever the n value you are giving, that should be greater than equal to 1. That is the rule. When we are identifying for 0 factorial, we will get the answer as 1. So we are writing the formulas f of n is equal to f of n minus 1 into n. This is the formula for identifying the factorial using recursive algorithm. Now we are writing the algorithm for the factorial. So we have to write the formula f of n minus 1 into n. F mean by the function. So we are repeatedly calling the function, and we are identifying the solution for the factorial. So what is meant by recursive function? You told already. We are writing the function. Inside the function, we are calling the same function. So fact of the function we are writing. Inside that fact of n minus 1 into n we are writing. So every time inside the function it will call the fact. So fact is the function name. So we are calling the fact again and again until reaching the n value. So let's see the algorithm. F of n, we are having the function, and computes the n factorial recursively. So recursive, with use of recursive function, we are identifying the n factorial. So what is the input? A non-negative integer of n. A non-negative integer, that is a rule we discussed in the starting point. So non-negative integer we have to give as input. What is the output? We have the value of n factorial. What is the value of n factorial? We are getting as output. For example, 2 factorial if you are giving as input. If you are giving 2, so 2 into 1. What is your factorial value? 2. The answer is 2. If you are giving 3 factorial, 3 is the input. For that 3 into 2 into 1. 3 2s are 6. 6 into 1, 6. So 6 is the factorial value. So the output what you will get is 6. So that was the output we will get. The value of n factorial will get as the output. Next to that, we are just finding the if condition. If n is equal to 0, return 1. So if the n value is 0, because we are already discussed, 0 factorial output will be 1. So that we are checking the condition. If the user enters the n value as 0, so what it will return? It will return 1 as output. Else, if the user enters 2, it will go for the else part and return the factorial value as 2. If the user enters 3, it will go for the else part and return the factorial value as 6. So according to that, whatever the input the user is giving, it will go for the else part and return the formula. The formula is f of n minus 1 into n. That is the formula. F resembles the function. Okay. So this is the first algorithm we are discussing. In this algorithm, what we understood the recursive function with use of recursive function, how to identify the factorial value. Okay, for that we are taking the mathematical part here. M of n is equal to m of n minus 1 plus 1. So the m of n minus 1 computes the f of n minus 1. So f of n minus 1, it will just identify. Next to that, plus 1 resembles the value what we are identifying. Here what they done is, in the place of n, they substituted 1 actually. So whatever the formula we are having here, f of n minus 1 into n we are having, no? In this place, in the place of f, they are substituting the method name as m of n minus 1 plus 1. So what is this 1? In the place of n, they substituted 1 here. Okay. Next to that, let's see the how they are solved this. So how they are solved this, just giving m of n is equal to m of n minus 1 plus 1. So for n greater than equal to 0. So if the n value is 0, what happens actually? If the n value is 0, they will substitute 0 here and here in this place. So m of 0 minus 1. So here they are making the entire value. If the m of n value is 0 means they are making us, it should be 1 actually, because here it will be plus 1 we are giving, so it will come as 1 here. So 0 factorial, whatever the 0 factorial you are giving, the factorial value whatever you are getting is 1. So that we are already discussed 0 factorial is equal to 1. So let's see the backward substitution method to solve this particular problem. Listen carefully. M of n is equal to m of n minus 1 plus 1. So this is the basic formula what we seen in the previous slide. M of n equal to m of n minus 1 plus 1. This is the basic formula. So what they are doing is m of n minus 1, in the place of m of n minus 1, they are substituting m of n minus 2 plus 1. So just substitute m of n minus 2 plus 1 in the place of m of n minus 1. What happens? So here m of n minus 2 plus 1 they are substituting in this place, plus 1 they are giving, equal to what? The solving of this particular thing, you will get this plus 1 and plus 1. So this one value, the constant value will be added, so that we are getting m of n minus 2 plus 2. This is the solution we are getting. The same place, m of n minus 2 plus 1, we are substituting m of n minus 3 plus 1. So in this entire place, we are substituting the next value. So when you are substituting this value, the constant value will be added. 1 plus 2 we are adding, and we are getting m of n minus 3 plus 3. Okay, the substitution thing you have to understand properly. So with use of this, they are making a final formula. So what is the final formula? So in the place of 3, they are substituting I. So m of n minus I plus I they are giving. So what happens actually? So every time the I value will be changed, no? So now we have to substitute the I value in the place of the constant. So what they are making? So m of n minus 1 plus n. So m of n minus 1 plus n, what happens? M of n minus n, what happens? N minus n will be 0. So the n will be come as output. So that only I told in the previous slide, this is wrong result, because m of n minus 1, when you are substituting 0 minus 1, so here we are getting 0, because 0 minus 1 minus 1. So here plus 1 we are having. So here minus 1 plus 1 we will get 0. Okay, so here in this place, in the next slide, we are just applying n minus n. So n minus n mean by 0. So 0 plus n, we are getting the final answer as n. Okay, so this is the final value we are getting in the backward summation method. Okay, so this is the first exercise we are checking with recursive function using factorial. How to identify the factorial using recursive function. Okay, next to that we are moving for tower of Hanoi. So I hope you understand recursive function. Recursive function you learned in C programming. So calling the same function inside the function itself, identifying the factorial with use of that particular thing. Now let's see the tower of Hanoi, how the tower of Hanoi will work. Before going to this, I want to show you the GIF file, how the tower of Hanoi will be working in an animated way, so that you can able to understand the particular problem solving method. So let's see this presentation. Students, are able to see this? Students are able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is said to be Tower of Hanoi. Are able to changing of, are able to see the changing of the slides? What it's moving on. The animated
Yes, sir.
video are able to see. Okay, very good. So we are having three bars. A, let's consider the first bar is A, second bar is B, and third bar is C. Okay, three bars we are having. Initially, what we are having, all the slides are in A. All the slides are in A. What we have to do is we have to move. This is the initial condition, what you are seeing now. So what we have to do is we have to move to C. We have to move to C. All the slide, all the discs, what you are having, that we have to move to C. That is the output we have to get. What you have to do, you can use B as an intermediate. You can put the slide, some of the discs in B, and you have to move to the C. Okay, C is the destination and A is the source. Okay, in this case, what you have to think of is, the rule one is, you should not put the smaller disc above the bigger you should not put the bigger one above the smaller one. That is the rule one. Rule one is, you should not put the bigger disc above the smaller disc. That is the rule one. Another one is, you have to arrange in the order. Okay, what the order we are having, the bigger most should come at last, and then the smaller one, and then the smaller, like that you have to arrange the disk in the proper way. For this we have to move one by one like that, and you have to identify the particular solution. This particular GI file I taken from the Wikipedia. You can also go through the website and you can view the particular GI file in very slower manner, so that you can able to understand how this disks are changing from one move to another move. Okay, so from this particular problem, for this particular problem, we are going to see the algorithm. We're going to see the algorithm for this particular problem. Let's see the algorithm for this particular problem. So Tower of Hanoi. Tower of Hanoi is a puzzle. As I told you, see, it's a kind of puzzle. There are n discs of different size that can slide onto a any of the three pegs. Three pegs. What I told, bars. I told, no, that they are representing as pegs. So what the thing? The Tower of Hanoi having n discs. N discs. So all the, if you are having five is n value, so 5 disks has to be moved from the source to destination. That is the work of the puzzle, solving the puzzle. So what is the second step they are giving? Initially all the disks are on the first peg. In order to size, the largest on the bottom and the smallest on the top. So this is the initial condition. All know, all the disks are in the first bar. All the disks are on the first bar. So the largest in the bottom, next largest, mean by next smallest one will be in the top. Like that, the smallest one will be arranged in the top of the bar. So we have to move that move the disks in the place from bar 1 to the source bar to the destination bar. That is the goal. Third point, what they are giving, the goal is to move all the disks to the third peg, mean by the third bar, using the second one as a auxiliary. Using the second bar as a temporary one, we have to move from the source to destination. I want to ask you one question here. I'm having a single bar. I'm having a single bar. How I can move from source to destination? Whether I have to use the auxiliary bar? Can anyone respond for this question? I'm having a single
No, sir.
bar in the source A. I want to move to the destination. Whether I have to use the auxiliary bar? Please respond louder.
No, sir.
No. No need to use the auxiliary bar because we are having a single disk that can be directly put in the destination. So what is our goal? We have to move the disk from source to destination. That is our goal. If you are having a single bar, you can move to source to destination directly. If you are having bars in different size, on that case you have to go for auxiliary, because the rule what we are having is we should not place the largest disk on the smallest one. For that reason we have to use the auxiliary bar. What is the last point they are giving? We can move only one disk at a time, and it's forbidden to place a larger disk on the smallest one. That is the rule what I told already. So we have to move only one disk. We should not move multiple disks at a time. Only one disk we have to move from source to destination or source to auxiliary bar, and we have to place the smallest on the largest, not largest on the smallest. Okay, I hope you understand these rules. Now let's move for the next slide. So what is the Tower of Hanoi puzzle? The problem has elegant recursive solutions. We have to do it recursively. We have to do the same task again and again, so that what they are telling, this is a recursive work we have to take up. So in this recursive work, we have to move the disks one by one, and we have to follow the rules, and we have to move the disks from source to destination. Okay, I'm repeatedly telling the same rules again and again for understanding purpose, because you should know the problem properly, then only you can able to understand the algorithm what I'm discussing in the next slide. So what is the next rule? To move the n greater than 1 disk from peg 1 to peg 3. Peg 1 mean by the source bar, peg 3 mean by the destination bar. So with the use of peg 2, that is auxiliary bar. So n greater than 1 disks we are having. If the n value is 5, 5 greater than 1. If the n value is 2, 2 greater than 1. According to the n value, you have to move the bars from source to destination. So how we have to move that, they are given in the sub points here. We first move the recursively n minus 1 disks from peg 1 to peg 2 with the use of auxiliary bar peg 3. So mean by the source to destination we have to move with use of the middle bar. Then what they are making, the largest disk directly from peg 1 to peg 3. Whatever the largest disk we are having, that we have to move from peg bar 1 to the source to destination, because largest disk has to come in the bottom. For that reason we have to move the largest disk from the source to destination directly. Next, what we are doing, finally move the recursive of n minus 1 disk from the peg 2 to peg 3. So whatever the n minus 1 disk, that is mean by the smaller disks we have to move from peg 2 to peg 3. The smaller disks you have to move to the auxiliary disk, that is the middle bar what we are having. So from there we have to move to the destination. So here we are using peg 1 as auxiliary. So when you are moving one by one, you can take peg 1 again. You can move the bars again to peg 1, and you can move to the destination. Like that you can solve this puzzle. If the n value is 1, as I asked the question, if we are having a single bar, we can move directly the single bar to source to destination. That's what they are giving. N value is 1 means we move the single disk directly from the source to destination. Okay, source bar to the destination bar we can able to move. I hope you understand this particular slide things. So what I discussed in the theoretical manner, they gave in the form of n value, and they discussed. So this was the diagram we seen in the form of GIF. We have nearly, what is the n value for this particular diagram? Can you tell me? By seeing this diagram, what is the n value? Can anyone tell me fast?
6,
What?
sir.
6. Very good. Because we are having six disks, so that the n value will be 6. So what we have to do, so this is the source bar, this is the auxiliary bar, and this is the destination bar. So we have to move the bars one by one, and you have to put the bottom largest bar in the bottom of destination. Like that you have to make it. So for this solving puzzle, let's see the algorithm. So this is the algorithm for tower of Hanoi. So what is the method they are using? Tower of Hanoi is the method they are using. In that method, they are having 4 different parameters: n value, source value, destination value, and auxiliary value. So these are the parameters they are passing. N value, you know, n value resembles the number of disks you are having in the source. Next to that, source is the source bar what they are resembling. Destination is the destination bar what they are resembling, and auxiliary is the auxiliary bar what they are resembling. So all these values you have to give properly in your program. Next to that, if n value is 1, as I discussed, if you are having a single disk in your source, if you are having a single disk in your source, what we have to do, we have to directly move the disk from source to destination. That what the thing. If the condition is true, if you are having only one disk in your source, then we can directly move the disk from source to destination. Okay, that is the condition we have to execute. If the condition is false, if you are not having one disk, if you are having more than one disk, then we have to go for the else part, and we have to call this tower of Hanoi method again and again. For that reason only we are telling this as a recursive function. So we are calling the tower of Hanoi, n minus 1 source, auxiliary, and destination we are passing. Move the disk from the source to destination. Tower of Hanoi, again we are calling the method. So we are calling the tower of Hanoi method 2 times. The first time we are passing this parameter n minus 1 source, auxiliary, and destination, and we have to make the disk source disk to the destination. That is our motto. What is our motto? We have to move all the source disk to the destination disk. That is our motto. And again we are calling the tower of Hanoi method again. So we are calling the tower of Hanoi method recursively for 2 times. So this is the algorithm. Algorithm resembles the basic part how the algorithm works. It will not have the detailed manner like a program. So when you're writing a program, you have to write all the things in detailed manner. When you're writing the algorithm, the general way of representing the problem has to be there. So whatever the algorithm they are asking the VTU examination, you have to write it properly. Okay. So they may ask a algorithm for a real-time problem, or what you learned, or resemblance of what you learned. Tower of Hanoi problem we learned, matrix multiplication we learned. They may ask matrix addition. They may ask some other puzzle problem. You have to think and write your own algorithm on the examination. Keep in mind, whatever we are learning, that will not come directly. You think and write your algorithm by your own on the VTU examination. Okay, so be in that mindset. Whatever algorithm they are asking, you have to think and write your own algorithm. Okay, come to the next slide. So what is the next slide? We are just solving the number of moves with use of recurrence relation. So here the mathematical part comes. So what we are discussing here, how much time we are moving the slide for the n value. If n value is 5, we are moving the slide for some more time. If n value is 1, we are moving the slide for 1 time. From source to destination we are moving. If n value is 2, what we are doing? We are moving the uppermost smaller one to the auxiliary bar, and then the bottom one to the destination, then the auxiliary bar smaller one to the destination. So like that we have to move. So how many moves we have? 1, 2, 3. 3 moves we are having. When we are having n is equal to 2, okay, like that you just think of, if the n increases, the number of moves also increases. For that we have to calculate the recurrence relation, how much moves we have to do when the n value got increases. Are you understand what I am telling, students? Are you able to get my points, what I am discussing with you? Please ask me if you have any doubts, because Tower of Hanoi is very important topic in your module 1. Okay, now let's see the recurrence relations in proper way. The number of moves depends on m of n. M of n resembles the number of moves, so that it can be written as m of n is equal to m of n minus 1 plus 1 plus m of n minus 1. This is the way we are representing the recurrence relation for Tower of Hanoi. So now we have the following recurrence relation for the number of moves. Though how many moves we are making, according to that we are making the following representation. So by solving the above equation, m of n minus 1 plus 1 plus m of n minus 1, so that we are having 2 times m of n minus 1. So by adding this 2, we are getting 2m of n minus 1 plus 1. So by adding these two equations, m of n minus 1, again we are having m of n minus 1. This 2 times we are having m of n minus 1. By adding this, we are getting 2m n minus 1 plus 1. Now when you are substituting n value as 1, when you are substituting n value is 1, then what we have, 2m n minus 1 plus 1. So n minus 1 is 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So this entire thing will become as 0. 0 plus 1 we are getting as 1. So when we are getting m of 1, the answer is 1. Any doubt in this, students? Please ask, don't sit ideal. If you have doubt, please ask me. The equation we get for recurrence relation is this. By solving, by just minimizing the equation, we are getting this, adding these two values, we are getting 2m of n minus 1 plus 1. By substituting n value as 1, we are getting 1, because 1 minus 1 we are getting as 0. So that we will get 0 plus 1, we will get 1. Let's move for the next slide. What we are doing in the previous factorial thing, we substituted the values. In the same way, what we are doing, we are just substituting the value of m of n, 2m of n minus 1 plus 1. This is the recurrence relation formula. In this recurrence relation formula, what we are substituting, m of n minus 1, we are substituting 2m n minus 2 plus 1. Again, next substitution we are getting m of n minus 2. In the place of m of n minus 2, we are substituting 2m n minus 3 plus 1. So first we will see m of n minus 1, we are substituting 2m of n minus 2 plus 1. So how the substitution work, we will just check it out. So 2m n minus 1 plus 1. So 2 will become as it is. In the place of m of n minus 1, we are substituting 2m n minus 2 plus 1. So we are substituting that 2m n minus 2 plus 1 will become from the previous equation. Now we have to multiply the 2 inside the formula, so that we are getting 2 square m of n minus 2 plus 2 plus 1. So we are just multiplying this 2 in both the equations. When you are putting in here, it will come as 2 square. When you are multiplying with 1, we are getting 2. So that our equation will be changed as 2 square m n minus 2 plus 2 plus 1. So by adding this 2 plus 1, we will get 3. So that our equation will be changes 2 square m n minus 2 plus 3. So that is the equation will change. Now in the place of m of n minus 2, we have to substitute the next one, that is to be 2m n minus 3 plus 1. So when you are substituting this, 2 square will come as it is. 2m n minus 3 plus 1 will become, because we are substituting this value in the place of m of n minus 2. Then the remaining 2 plus 1 will become as it is. While we are adding, it will come as 3. They are not added here, so that it will come as it is. 2 plus 1 it will become. Now what you have to do, 2 square will be multiplied inside, so that 2 square will become as 2 cube. Then here in the place of 1, they are multiplying 2 square, so 2 square will be come as it is. So 2 cube m n minus 3 plus 2 square plus 2 plus 1. So this is the equation it will come. So when we are seeing this, when you are substituting for n minus 4, so n minus 3 we identified. When you are identifying for n minus 4, it will come as 2 power 4 m of n minus 4 plus 2 power 3 plus 2 square plus 2 plus 1. So this is the way when we are identifying for n power 2 power 4. So that is mean by n minus 4. So until n minus 3 we seen here. When you are going for n minus 4, you will get the equation like this. Now in the place of 4 or 3 or 2, we have to substitute I. When you are substituting I, what the thing we are getting? M of n minus n will be represented as 2 power I, m of n minus I, 2 power I minus 1, 2 power I minus 2, 2 plus 1. So minimizing this equation, we are getting 2 power I, m of n minus I plus 2 power I minus 1. This is the equation. This is the general equation we are getting when you are substituting I in the place of constant values. Okay. So by different substitution, we are identifying the backward substitution for the given formula, and with use of that, we are identifying the general way of formula by substituting the I value. So let's go for the next thing. So here the initial condition is specified as n is equal to 1, which is achieved for I is equal to n minus 1. So here the n value can be represented as 1 and the I value will be replaced with n minus 1. Whatever the previous equation we seen, all the I value we are substituting with n minus 1. So our formula will be written as 2 of n minus 1. So m of n minus n minus 1 plus 2 of n minus 1 minus 1. So solving this particular value, we have to apply the n value in the place of 1. So in this particular formula, we are identifying the n value is substituted as 1. So while you are substituting the n value as 1, we are getting the final value as 2 power n minus 1. So this is the final value we are getting as a solution for the recurrence with use of Tower of Hanoi. Finally, we are having one more simple algorithm. I will complete this algorithm and wind up this class. So 3 algorithms we discussed. First one is recursive function. Second one is Tower of Hanoi. And the third algorithm what we are having is the positive decimal integers. With use of that positive decimal integers, what is the output is the number of binary digits in the binary n binary representation. That is the problem. For that problem, we have to identify the results. Okay, for this, what we have to do, we have to identify the number of binary digits for the n binary representation. How many digits we are having for the given decimal number. So for this, what we have to do, if n is equal to 1, we have to return 1. If n is not 1, what we have to do, we have to find the division of the n value with 2 and plus 1. So every time we are calling the binary REC, bin REC is the particular method, binary recursive method that we are calling with n divided by 2 plus 1. So every time we are calling this particular function recursively, so that we can able to identify the binary numbers, number of binary numbers in the particular binary value. What is the basic operation performing here? We are adding the numbers, so that we are just keeping the binary operation as addition. Next to that, the recurrence relation can be written as a of n is equal to a of n minus 2, n divided by 2 plus 1. So every time the function in the place of binary recursive function, we are replacing with a. So n divided by 2 plus 1. So whatever the recursive function we wrote here, that they represented in the form of a. So n value will be every time greater than 1. Assuming that when the value, what the value we are having, it's 2 power k. The n value is 2 power k means we have to represent it as 2 power k minus 1 plus 1. So when the n value, the k value is 0 means it will be 0. The entire thing will become as 0. So if the n value is 2 power k, we can able to write the equation like this. If the n value, k value is 0 means it will come as 0. The entire thing will become as 0. Furthermore, we are taking 2 power k equal to 2 power k plus 1, k minus 1 plus 1, what we see in the previous thing. When the 2 power k value is 0, it will be 0. And like our Tower of Hanoi and recursive function, we are substituting the values here. What the values we are substituting? The initial formula can be represented as 2 power k minus 1 plus 1. In the place of a of 2 power k minus 1, we are substituting 2 power k minus 2 plus 1. So when you are substituting this value, we are getting the final answer like this: a of 2 power k minus 2 plus 2. In the place of k minus 2, we are substituting 2 power k minus 3 plus 1. So 2 power k minus 3, what you are getting actually? You are getting 2 power k minus 3 plus 3, because already plus 1 will be there, 2 will be there. Adding this 2, we are getting 3. In the place of the constant value, we are substituting I. So when you are substituting I, we are getting 2 power k minus I plus I. So next to that, in the place of I, they are substituting k. When they are substituting k, what they are getting? 2 power k minus k plus k. So what they are end up with? 2 power k in the place of k, if they are substituting one, a of 1 plus k is equal to k. So here, while solving this, k minus k, it will be 0. So what they will get? A of 2 power 0, 2 power 0 will be 1. A of 1 plus k, a of 1 plus k will be k they are identifying at last. So n value substituted as 2 power k. So k will be resembles in the form of log base 2 of n. So in the place of k, they are substituting log base 2 of n, so that it will be written in the form of big theta of log of n. So a of n. So the recurrence relations for the identifying the binary values will be theta of log n. So 3 different recursive function algorithm we discussed today. So the algorithm is very simple, but the recurrence relation and backward processing, we substituted the values and we identified the final solution. In this way, today you take up one exercise. Those who not completed the previous exercise, make it today only, and try to write algorithm for the given problem what I am mentioning now. We are having the factorial algorithm what we discussed, and like that the recursive function, we can apply in different problem that you check, and for that particular problem you write a algorithm. Recursive function we applied for tower of Hanoi, and we applied for factorial of value, and we applied for our binary digit calculation. The same way you identify in the net in which way we can apply the recursive function. Take the problem, for that write the algorithm and share in the Google Classroom. I will create a link now. In that link, please share the algorithm. So writing the algorithm is very important, because the algorithm is needed for facing your VTU examinations, because they will ask a real-time algorithm. On that time you have to think and write the algorithm. For that I am giving practice. In the same way, for understanding our lab programs, I am giving the Java program. So try to solve every video lecture exercise and share in the Google Classroom. I will create the exercise for video lecture 2 today. So share the video lecture 2 exercise today. Those who not completed video lecture 1 exercise, make it today without fail. Any doubt, students, you can ask me now. And keep in mind, install the NetBeans software today, because today afternoon we have the lab schedule. Afternoon 1:30 to 4:30 we have the lab. Please install the NetBeans software in your local system, so that you can able to execute the Java program without any errors. Any doubt, students?
From 145 to 240, we have some bridge course, sir, for OOC.
Yeah, that was scheduled by us only. I will speak with the coordinator and I'll let you know what is the time schedule for that.
Okay.
Otherwise, after the bridge course, I will take the lab. Okay, because I have to teach you on program today. After the bridge course, I will take up the lab session. Okay. Any doubts, please ask me, students. Don't sit ideal. Interaction will make you get more ideas, because installation of software will, lot of people are facing problem. If you face problem installation of NetBeans software, please ask me, I will help you. And execution of programs you have to do in the NetBeans only. After executing the program, take the screenshot of that output and share in the Google Classroom, because I will create a lab exercise for every lab programs. There you have to share the output. Okay. All should subscribe the channel, so that you will get the notification. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Sir, will you share the notes, sir?
Yeah, I will share the notes. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.